Thought I'd play around with some of these engine swaps. I got the, this is going to be the normal Miata MX5 Roadster versus the engine swapped. So I fully modified the cars. They're running the mid-turbo, the mid-range turbo, not the high or not the low. The reciprocating motor Miata had the option for a supercharger, but we're not going to use it. The Rotary did not, which makes sense. I don't even know if, I mean, it's got to be an option. I've never heard of a supercharged Rotary. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but it makes sense that they don't have it in the game. The other difference is the Rotary allows for anti-lag. I have not adjusted any of the settings of the cars just because I want to see how they feel and how they run on their own. Suzuka Circuit's a pretty good course. They're running racing soft tires, and it's just going to be hopefully comparing apples and apples here. They're also running RPF1 wheels. They're both wide and they're both set to 17s. I don't even know if I've driven the Miata yet. I know I've driven the new one. I actually own a 3rd gen Miata, which, oh god, it definitely likes to rotate. I own a 3rd gen, so I'm one of the few people that would actually like to see them bring that into the game. It's kind of the hated generation of Miata. But they got the R33, which is the hated GTR. I don't know if it's going to rain here. This may not have been the right choice to just let the game do what it's going to do. I could check the weather, but this car is a little twitchy. I can only imagine doubling the horsepower is going to be even more of a handful. There's a little bump there, but I think I turned in on him. If it does rain, I don't know if we're supposed to pull over and put the top up because it is down right now. But we might just get wet. Honestly, in the, I don't know if this is true for all Miatas. I'm sure it is on some level because there's a pretty small cabin. But in the 3rd gen, the NC, if you stay above 60 with the top down, the rain doesn't really get you. This car is way low on the performance points for this race, and actually I guess we're only up to 9th, are we? But it does not feel like an underdog. It feels plenty powerful. I'd be curious if they change the dash on the engine swap. I haven't, this is my first engine swap, so I don't know what happens to them for the most part. From what I've seen online, they just turn into beasts and are almost undrivable. But I mean, we're using the entire tack right now, and a rotary engine's gonna, I mean, they're known for just, they're known for RPMs. You really want to be high on the RPMs on those cars to keep the apex seals up and that sort of thing. You don't want to build up carbon. Like, they like to rev. The 5 laps seems like it might be a bit much. But we'll be able to get a couple lap times down, and even if you're, you know, better or worse at, you know, driving than I am, I'm going to be kind of a constant as well. So with me behind the wheel, these are the lap times you're going to get. You fit at 226. I don't know if that's good or bad. Limit on this race is 700, and we're at like 618, I believe. The rotary version of this car is just below 700 with the mid-range turbo, so we don't have to worry about that either. I tend to prefer the mid-range turbos on these cars because you're you know, oh, we are loose. So the high range stuff, you're struggling to get there. Guess we decided against the headlights. I did not do a wide body, and I didn't put any aero on these cars, so funny to see these Japanese Goliaths battling with a Miata, and we're not even into the swap car yet. We're doing fine with, now we're running slicks in the rain. This might humble us real quick. Oh God. Last lap was slow, but we were in traffic. I'm not seeing any real rain on the road yet in terms of the indicator. I don't even know if pits are open on this. I mean, we don't have tire wear, we don't have fuel, which is kind of a mistake. I mean, it'd be nice to know what they, how these cars drink in comparison to each other. But this is my first step into comparing the engine swap cars, so Now the car seems to pull pretty evenly. I mean, I don't know what the power band looked like because I haven't gone in to swap any of the parts or tune it or anything. I might do that before we leave here and compare the two power curves, because this feels like a pretty flat power curve just based on what I'm seeing in the RPM. I mean, the needle moves nice and smooth. It's not, there's no real turbo surge that I'm seeing. Although it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of boost either. I think that gauge is in bar, so I'm not as familiar with bar, but we're not even, I think 1 bar is 14 PSI, so what is that? Seven will be half, so we're probably running, you know, I don't know, 5 pounds of boost, which really isn't much. You got to ease into the throttle on this car because it's a short wheelbase, lightweight car, and it will spin on you. This is, I think it was like 240 horse, so I mean, not a big power car compared to what's on this track right now. Oh God, oh God. Good Lord, that was a hard hit for this thing. That would have been the end of this car. So with a crash, I'm guessing that 225 is going to be our best lap. That is distracted driving right there. That's what happens. Just trying to look at the times. It looks like 228 is about our average. 225 was our best. That slide was fun though. I don't know how fast we were going, but especially being that the car survived it. And this has no suspension. I mean, I put the full race suspension on it, but I have not adjusted it at all. So what it has is what it has. Now what I'm expecting with the rotary is that it's going to have no power down low and just keep going. Just keep going and keep going. Let's go to take a quick look at the power band. And then switch cars and see how it does. So the engine on the rotary actually added 100 pounds, which I didn't expect. They're a lot simpler of an engine, so I would have expected it to actually have dropped weight. So let's just go here. Yeah, pretty linear. I mean, not as yeah, that's fine. It's pretty linear. Not too peaky. Let's go switch cars. And let's start off with this one, taking a look at the car's power band. I don't want to make any adjustments because I want to just see the cars for what they are. That looks pretty linear too. I mean, the torque is a little bit more humped, but it's also way up there compared to the other car. So let's see what she's got. Now we won that race. 225 was our best. 228 was probably our average, pretty close, if not. I mean, the sound is definitely different right away. Oh God, this thing. Definitely getting a different feel. I can't place it yet. Okay. It winds up on you. It winds up. If you short shift it, it's very manageable. This car needs aero. The other one was pretty good without it. I haven't changed the gear ratios either, so I'm thinking this one's gonna top out. This is the father of this engine is right in front of us. They took it out of the FD instead of the, I don't know what the RX-8's chassis code is, but RX-8 had a terrible rotary motor, which is, they detonated all the time. Oh yeah, we're spiking it. So we need to change the gearing on this. So this is going to be an unfair disadvantage to the rotary in terms of lap time, just because it's gonna get stuck on the gear ratios. It looks like the RPM might be a little higher. It's hard to say because I was trying to hold it on to 8,000 RPM and seeing what happened. I mean, it's asking you to shift around 8,000. I don't know. This thing is just oh, I don't know. I can't, there's an emotional change here more than, it feels right. I'm not paying attention to the road as much because I'm trying to watch the tach, because I would have expected the RPM to go a lot higher. Oh my God. This car is harder to drive without laughing. Like, this thing is just a freaking joy to drive. Before I felt bad for, I felt like embarrassed for the, I felt embarrassed for the other cars on the track getting in the same competition as a, turbo Miata. This, I feel bad for them being out here with it, because this thing is just angry. It's a bag of hornets. I'm curious what the top speed of this car actually is, but It's geared to, I mean, without any setup changes, it's geared to stop around 160. It looks like it just runs out of transmission at this point. But the goal here was not necessarily to optimize these two cars. I just wanted to see, all things being equal, what happened. I mean, I wasn't even, I don't know how close we got to 160 in the reciprocating motor. But this one, you find out real quick that you ran out of transmission. The car's handling actually feels very similar. I mean, I guess it should. I mean, you're talking about a 100-pound difference in weight, so it's not like eye-opening in terms of differences. I actually, like I said, I expected it to go down. I figured the rotary motor would be lighter, but I mean, it's a game. I don't want to say the car is harder to drive because it's still a Miata and it's still very responsive and it's still very, it talks to you very well. It responds very well to input. But what I will say is, like, you got to pay attention to what you're doing. Like, there's no relaxing anymore in this car. There's no phoning it in. I mean, you're engaged in this drive now. We're getting a harder range here. Oh, good Lord! I just looked at the the lap times. We lost freaking 3 seconds while sliding. There's 4 seconds slower. We're going to end up hydroplaning this thing. So with the wrong gear ratios, I mean, it seems pretty obvious. Like, obviously we would crush the slower car. Oh, there's the hydroplane. Hopefully the rain lets up, because this thing is not happy about it. Hey, looks like wishes can be granted pretty easily. We just need the track to dry out a little bit. Having to barely give it any throttle. Oh, the sounds it makes are just so good. So what I'm wanting to do with all my engine swaps is keep a factory example, like the original motor, and run with one of the swaps. Like, I have an MR2 set up right now with without a swap, but I'm waiting for them to get back into the used car lot, and we're going straight. So once they get back in, I can drop a motor into that and do the same type of thing. So ooh. I feel like I'm going to see some no wake zone signs here in a minute. This car is floating. So with the Miata anyway, going to a rotary, I don't have the LS or LT swap for the newer Miata yet, but with the NA Miata, going rotary does not hurt the handling at all, in my opinion. The car feels just as nimble, just as good. It's a 100-pound difference, so you wouldn't really expect it to be a big difference. And any of the difficulty in driving can be adjusted by just lifting the throttle pedal. What's funny is we're not going to get first. I just can't keep the car on the ground. This is all tire choice, though. This has nothing to do with the car itself. It's actually doing really well, considering we're running racing slicks on a wet track in a lightweight car. Man, we are almost catching him. We just don't have enough time. That was just fun. Yeah, that little thing is a freaking beast now. So if you get you will not ruin that car by throwing a rotary in it. I mean, that's just plain and simple. You could always dial back the power. You could always do what you need to do. I can't see a single bit of downside to that car. But anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good night or day.